Verse 18, therefore take care how you listen. Be careful how you listen. For whoever has, to him shall more be given. And whoever does not have, even what he thinks he has, shall be taken away from him. Any guesses on that verse? There's a lot in there. Whoever has gets more. Whoever doesn't have even loses what they think they have. Rachel? That's true. Anybody else?
He who reaped a little bit, that he would sow good fruit, and he would have good fruit, and the other one would God would punish him.
Yeah, there's kind of an extra multiplication effect and an extra division effect as it relates to following God and spiritual life inside of us. You remember the guys with the parable of the talents? One was given one had 5, one had 10, and the guy with 10 made more, and then the guy with 1 did nothing. And what happened to the guy that had 1 and did nothing?
It was taken away from him?
It was taken away, and who was it given to?
The guy who had 10.
It was given to the guy who had 10. See, we either do something with our lives spiritually, or it evaporates. The things you understand right now, the things that we've talked about over the last several chapters that you understand in your mind about how God wants you to live, if you'll do something with that, if you'll respond to that, you'll understand more things next time, and more things next time, and more things next time. I don't mean next time we read, but as each season of your life passes, if you're faithful with what you hear and respond to it the best you can with a whole heart, then your ability to understand increases. Jesus said that to a group of people one time. Whoever wants to do my will understand if my teachings are from God. It's the desire to understand and the putting it into practice, the doing something with it, that enlarges your heart, it enlarges your mind. It gives you a bigger satellite dish. You see satellite dishes on people's roofs. Sometimes they're real little ones like this, and sometimes they're real big like that. Big to catch all the radio waves that are coming in. If you respond, your dish gets bigger. So not only do you get the benefit of the reward for doing whatever was on the table that first time, but your dish gets bigger, and you have a bigger capacity to understand God and to understand more in the future. But if you don't respond to the things that we're talking about now, the things that you do understand, the things that are there that are yours, if you don't understand, then as time passes, your dish gets littler. Not only do you reap what you sow in terms of bad decisions for not following through on the things you knew, but the next time you're together, it doesn't even make sense. You don't even understand it anymore. The thing you thought you understood the first time, you don't understand anymore because you weren't faithful with it. Your ability to understand and receive and apply has diminished. Whoever has, more will be given. Whoever does not have, even what he thinks he has, will be taken away. And that's one of those spiritual principles of the universe. So be very careful how you listen. That's how you started that verse. Be very careful how you listen. The things you understand today, if you put them into practice and are faithful with them, as time passes, tomorrow, the next day, you'll understand more, and you'll have a bigger capacity, a bigger dish, a bigger freezer to store all of God's food in your heart. But if you don't respond, it keeps getting small. Your capacity gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and finally it gets to the point where your heart's hard. Your dish is just shrunk all the way down, and there's no way to get in. There's no way to get new information into your heart. You've made your decisions. You've made your choices. You're going to be the kind of person you're going to be, and your receiver dish is shrunk down to zero. You don't have a capacity anymore. That's what Jesus said about the Pharisees. He says, you have no room in your heart for my word. There's no more capacity there. Whereas all the other people, the masses, there was room in their heart for Jesus' word. There was a place for it to stick. But the Pharisees that rejected him and ended up crucifying him, the thing that was wrong with them was their dish was completely shriveled up. It was gone. There was no more room in their heart for his word, so it couldn't stick. He couldn't cut them to their heart. They couldn't see how much they needed him. They were so full of themselves and had rejected for so long his promptings through the years, even when they were children and little boys and little girls and running around, and how they thought about themselves as they went to their little rabbi schools and, got the best grades in class. Everything they thought about themselves, everything they did, either enlarged their dish, giving them a better chance to know God and experience God in their lives, or it shrunk their dish. So at the end, there was no room in their heart for His Word. So be careful how you listen. If you're faithful with the things you listen to, then your ability to know God increases. If you're not faithful to the things you listen to, your ability to even hear it next time decreases.